award-winning journalist, libertarian pundit John Stossel has thought-provoking perspective on the coronavirus pandemic, including something he sees as a potential silver lining. He's the author of Give Me a Break and the creator of Stossel TV. Where are you hibernating?
Cape Cod.
Got to be somewhere.
It's all out here. It's very pretty.
Oh, I love Cape Cod. It's a great place. All right, you recently wrote a column, John, headline, Shut Down Silver Lining. It was about homeschooling. Elaborate.
A lot of parents are discovering, hey, I like teaching my kids at home and they learn more. And we're not going to go back to those state-run schools. And for many of those kids, that's a silver lining. I was surprised to find that homeschooling families on average are below average income, but the kids do better than average. They get higher SAT scores, do better in college, less drink or abuse drugs. So that can be a good thing. And today there are all these internet teaching methods that are free.
Are you opposed to state schools?
No, I'm opposed to their arrogance and cost and demand that kids be assigned by zip code. I think its choice is good.
All that's always assigned by zip code. Therefore, you would have favored busing.
Well, busing was racial integration, which at the time we all thought was a good idea to force integration, but it brought out so much hatred that wasn't a good thing. I mean, the state schools now constantly whine, we don't have enough money. That's why we're struggling. But if you just do the arithmetic, they're spending more than $10,000 per kid on average. So that's $200,000, $300,000 per classroom. I would think I could hire 4 great teachers for that and do a much better job than they do. But the money just disappears because that's what happens with government monopolies. And the competition that's going to come out from COVID and parents finding new alternatives on the internet that they can do at home will be good because it'll give some parents another choice. And think about learning math. I mean, video games would be so much better at teaching that than a teacher standing in front of 20 kids talking, because it's individualized to the kid, and the games make it exciting. They give you a funny noise when you get the answer right.
Yeah.
And this is all brand new and good.
But parents aren't trained in teaching.
No, that's what the education experts say. They aren't experts in the curriculum and they won't know what to teach. And it's true, but the experts haven't done a very good job. The big American nationwide test asks kids, who did we fight when we fought Hitler? And they say France and England. And they're not aware that the Soviet Union was our enemy during the Cold War. So kids aren't learning much in government-run schools.
John, you're concerned about the impact of the $600 a week federal unemployment check for the involved with the coronavirus. Why are you against that?
But with the state payments, it's often more than $800. And in many cases, that means that people make more money not going back to work. And look, people need help. The government closed these places by force in many cases. And I can see why politicians say we have an obligation to give these people money. But when you give people more money than they were making working, you're teaching them to be dependent on government, and that's not a good thing. People get purpose in work. Look at you. You're like the age of retirement, but you're choosing to work.
Way past it. Larry Kudlow, our White House economic advisor, used to appear on our show a lot, says the Trump administration is considering a weekly back-to-work bonus for Americans returning to employment. What do you make of that?
beats me. It doesn't sound like the Kudlow.
No.
It's government's job to keep us safe, to protect us from foreign enemies, epidemics, to have some pollution control rules. But why is it government's job to give bonuses to this group and this politically favored company? And that's a recipe for disaster. We're already going broke.
Well, but they've been saying that for years. They said when Roosevelt put the New Deal in, and you certainly doesn't government have to do something in times of crisis? Doesn't it have to do something?
Yeah, get out of people's way so free people can create the opportunities that we always have. I mean, America was built by people who had nothing and uh, other than their hands and their brains, and it was only in Roosevelt's day it started to get much bigger. For most of our history, it was less than 5% of the economy. Now it's 40%, and you want it to do still more?
It's been said that a crisis reveals character. What do you think the COVID-19 crisis has revealed about our society?
Hmm. That's a good one. Um, it revealed President Trump to be ridiculous on many fronts. It's shown us to overreact and have disproportionate ideas about life and death. Some good things will come out of it. It will teach us how much we can do without commuting to work, teach a bunch of old people like us how to use Zoom and the internet. It's unpredictable what this will do. It'll be bad and good.
What do you make of I know you're an independent, very much so. What do you make of Trump's handling of this?
Well, I liked it that he was skeptical that we should close America forever, but and I liked it that he's aware of how regulation kills things and how the government's rules about testing, preventing the private sector from producing tests, was a bad thing. And he grew up in the private sector and sees how the regulation does a lot of harm. That's the best part of Trump. But Trump acting like a crybaby because the press criticizes him, or accusing Scarborough of being involved in some murder. It's childish and self destructive. And his narcissism comes out. Look at me, I'm the best. I have the biggest crowd. I'm the best at fighting COVID. You're supposed to outgrow that when you're older than 3. He doesn't.
You're supporting a candidate, are you not, for the election?
I'll vote for the Libertarian, but she won't win. I won't fool myself. I certainly prefer Trump over the Democrats, who would bankrupt us even faster.
You would vote for Trump over Biden.
Yes.
Twitter has placed a fact check warning on Trump. What do you make of that?
It's better than totally censoring him. And I think it's ironic that the head of Twitter standards, or whatever it is clearly a Trump hater because he's posted things that show that the social media bias that leans to the far left is a problem. But hey, it's a private company; they can do whatever they want.
What do you make of social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook? Net positive, you like them? Based coming down to one or the other, would you like them?
I like them. I mean, I'm doing what I used to do on 2020, make short videos, and I'm doing it because Fox gave me an hour TV show, but I thought that's not my skill. Everybody, a lot of people can do. You can do an hour talk show much better than I can. But my skill is cutting things into short packages that are fun and can explain more complicated subjects. And my son said, Dad, young people aren't going to believe what you say on Fox. You don't need Fox anymore. You got 1 million Twitter followers, and there's Facebook and YouTube, and you can just use social media. So I asked viewers for some money, and we're making a video every Tuesday, and I like doing it. The conversation continues, the comments go on. Sometimes for years, I get comments on things I posted several years ago. Our Some of our pieces, like on the $2 million bathroom built by New York City, have gotten 12 million views. So I love social media.
New York built a $2 million bathroom.
Everything government does is below average quality and above average cost. Yes, this was a bathroom in a park, and I said to the parks commissioner, who probably regretted sitting down with me, "So, how
Mhm.
can this be?" "Oh, well, we have to make sure it's sturdy, and we have to make sure it's gonna stand up under all that use." Well, there's a private bathroom in a private park not far from there that's much nicer and costs $400,000. Well, we have rules we have to follow. We have to use union labor. We have to consult with all the community groups. Well, doesn't that bother you that it then takes 3 years and costs 5 times as much? No, that's just the way we do things in government.
John, it's always great talking to you. You're very thought provoking and great seeing you on lovely Cape Cod.
Thank you, Larry. Nice to talk.
Mhm.